G'day guys and welcome back to another episode of the Lifestyle Empire podcast. Today we are digging into the plumbing empire that is Good Hands. We're looking at the fact that growth always doesn't come from working harder, and it actually comes from thinking sharper and building better systems. Today we've got Sandy here. He's a boardroom member and has been with us since April this year. That's 2025, and I know we're coming into a new year now. Expect to learn today, guys, how Sandy thinks about building systems that don't break under pressure, the mindset shift that helped him to make real progress in his business, and what it takes to stay sharp as a business owner while stepping into fatherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guy, Sandy Johansson.
Hey, Sammy. Thanks for having me on, mate.
How do you love the warm-up, mate? Isn't it nice to have someone there just talking shit about you and you're just waiting to say your bit?
You just got to cop it.
But you please get us up to speed on this empire of Good Hands that you've been building.
Yeah, so I've had the business for nearly 10 years. We're residential maintenance, family business. So I've had it with my partner, Han. She's been in the business for 5 years or so. She's stopped now, but we were My Home Plumbing up until about a year ago. We did a big rebrand, and that's where we're at right now.
Can we drill straight into that? Because that's something that I was hoping you were going to bring up, and we did it straight off the bat. Why go and put all the effort into rebranding? Because it's very costly. Why did we see the need?
I think the rebrand came about, we would have been, 6-7 years into business, and I think we'd had some really good moments sort of along the way. We'd transitioned from this company that was doing work for builders, it was literally me, my old apprentice, doing, usual story. And we kind of got into the residential maintenance space and started having some really good wins and building a team. And I think it must have been around COVID when things started to just drop off a little bit. And I think the rebrand was as much about being noticed, but I think it was also kind of like a line in the sand with where we're at and who we want to be moving forward. I think we did it a lot. I found so much drive from having the new brand. It's funny reflecting on it.
Something that we've seen quite regularly pop up is when business owners start to really consider their brand message, their brand assets, so even down to color, logos and stuff. And then start translating that into actual content. They get the feedback loop of seeing their guys on site, actually seeing the work that you do through that creative lens. What kind of impact has leveling up the content game had on you and the company?
Well, the content, I guess it's the brand has kind of amplified everything, which has been really cool. The trucks stick out so you can see them a mile away, and I never used to notice our old trucks, and now I'm 200 meters down the road from there's Aiden or whatever, and it's it's amplified everything that we do, which I think was what we wanted was it to be this foundation that we can build upon. And when it comes to content, we're only just starting to go down that rabbit hole. But it's, I think the brand in general has just seen so much, I guess you have to bear with me here, Sammy. Sorry,
that's good. That's good. It has been so much.
I lost my train of thought. What was the question? Was around the content.
What is the impact or the emotion that having that content, you get that feedback loop of seeing your guys on site, seeing your finished work.
Yep.
A lot of guys get really re-inspired by actually seeing it.
Yep. Yeah, I guess with the content, we haven't done heaps. That's only something that we're starting to get into.
And this is not about jumping around on site and singing stupid songs. This is about positioning ourselves that we do great work and we know our shit and we have a good, healthy team to come into your home and provide the right service.
Yeah. I think what we've done is like recently we've kind of done like a brand movie, careers video, and we've kind of gone down a bit of that. And I think that has actually added a lot of credibility to, I guess, the team and how they feel about what we do. I think that, I don't know, the brand just kind of ties into all of that. And I think people kind of really associate themselves with who we are now.
Okay.
And we're able to, I guess, content just kind of ties into all of that.
And if we can bring a little bit of a knot in it for, we've all seen the guy that goes out on his own and has got, like ABC Carpentry or, their three initials of their name. Yeah. What would be like some inspiration or some advice to them to maybe consider the move from My Home to Good Hands and the effects it will have on their business?
We sat on the name for a really long time. Like at the start of deciding to do the brand, changing the name was on the cards, but it wasn't a definite. And we went through these naming workshops, and it was all about what feeling we wanted to create for our customer. And so we worked with a really good agency. They were really cool, and they interviewed a bunch of our customers about what they liked. So I think we spoke to 20 or 30 customers that were returning, and we asked them why they kept coming back and what they liked about us. And the same kind of answers were coming back. And so then when we talked to the agency, they sort of created naming categories. I think what we didn't want was to be exactly like you said, ABC Plumbing, because it's just everyone's got a 3-letter acronym and you just can't, it's forgettable.
It blends in with the crowd, doesn't it? And you want to be really memorable.
Exactly. And it was like, why go to all this effort if we're not going to nail that? And like they were throwing names at us, like nothing was quite landing. And we were at home one day just brainstorming because we're like, we've got to make a decision on this thing. It must have been 6 weeks that we were sitting on it. And I think Safe Hands came up as like in safe hands or something like that. And we started like hands kind of felt right. And then Good Hands, and we're like, bang, Good Hands. And it just like the moment that we said it, it felt cool and it felt like us and it just felt fun.
It's like the hairs on the back of your neck stand
honestly,
up.
I feel it now. Yeah.
Was
and
there
it's so cool to just like have that to be pumped on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
exactly.
just,
was there a random name though that was thrown out that you were like, nah, flat out no, but it's still like a running joke?
Nah, like what? Were a few of them. They sounded like restaurants. I think Frank and Hank or something, but not plumbing, just Frank. And it was like, it's cool, but it's like at the same time that, and again, the name's so important. Like if it doesn't mean something to the person that hears it, then, Frank sounded like a cool cafe, but not a plumbing company. And
very unique.
Good Hands was like, just felt like it nailed all the feelings that we were trying to create. So yeah, I think like there's, it's, again, you can spend ages on this, but like an acronym, like Sandy's was an option that we didn't go for. Again, like you have to remember me, but Good Hands it's very bold. It's on the side of the truck. You can see it there. Like it's,
you didn't want to.
We wanted it to be memorable.
Plastered on the side of the van, did you? You didn't have a caricature of your face on the side.
No, superhero or something like that.
There's a plumbing crew that gets around Adelaide that have done a really, really fantastic job of it. They're like three generations in, and they've brought back the old Kelvinator style fridge branding. So like really old school, kicking it back.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Ken Hall Plumbing looks really cool. If anyone wants to check them out, as whilst checking out Good Hands as well, they're two great plumbing firms to follow and get some inspo for if you're moving from your acronym proprietary limited to something a little bit more on brand. Now, Sandy, you've been a member of the boardroom since about April, I reckon. What stage of business were you in when you reached out to us?
I mean, to be honest, it's similar. What have we done since we've joined you? I mean, like, I guess staff-wise, not much has changed, but it was at the time that like our baby was due, sort of 6 weeks away or something, and I think I just started the conversation because we'd sort of had this as Han, my partner, was doing the admin role, and we were kind of looking to how we're going to replace her. We'd train someone up, and then like just before the baby was born, they quit, and it was all just a really chaotic time. So I think, yeah, like that's sort of the stage where we're at, and what I was looking for was maybe just a bit of a better structure.
Yeah, and it's not always like growth for growth's sake. Sometimes there are things where you're like, I know I've got a great business, and you absolutely do. What are some of the extra things that I can plug in to either leverage my time or, when the babies come along? Like we get a lot of guys reach out to us who are about to have kids, whether that's a couple months away or whether they've just found out and their partner's just gone 12 weeks and they've gone public on it.
Until the very last minute.
Yeah, or you wait till the very, very last second, you sit on the fence, you're like, fuck, I got to do
this. I just realised I want to take a month off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paternity leave is now a thing.
Yeah.
But you've got such a smart mind for systems. I always think about the level of detail that you go to structure the company. What's some of the real driving systems that you have on the back end that no one would see? These are around like the spreadsheets that you use, the data tracking. Share with us, like, educate the plumber or the other trade that's listening about what it really takes to run some serious back-end structures.
I have spent probably the last 18 months or so, like I've been quite obsessed with the way that we track jobs, and I've spent a lot of hours finessing spreadsheets to work out, I guess, we understand a lot of data now that we didn't once have. Average tickets on job categories. Something cool that I think I learned in the boardroom was around, you said something about, it was getting out, like it wasn't about the quote conversion, it was just about what the dollar value was of the quote you were getting out. And so we started tracking that. So we call that the average max quote now. And we've got that per job category. We've got GP on every job. We've got efficiency. So we track everyone's efficiency as a percentage, which is billable versus non-billable. It's actually quite easy to run, but coming up with the numbers and finessing the spreadsheets and then trying to combine all those spreadsheets so it feeds into a team tracker, I have spent so long putting that together. But it's been
orchestrating them is the final structure boss, isn't it? Like that's bringing it all together and having it link is a monumental task.
Yeah.
What sparked the start of it? Like before you had the first couple of spreadsheets open, this is particularly around job tracking, because I think a lot of people could do a lot better in the job tracking component. What sparked it? When were you like, I need to get the shit right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember one particular moment this was a sort of conversation that I've been having with my accountant for a while, and he gave us a good sort of template with how to back cost jobs. But I guess I found that there was a lot of data entry, which I hated doing, and then it was just hard to get someone to do it to the detail that I wanted it. When it was a job that we did quite a while ago, and I just remember seeing the way one of the boys had built this one particular part of the job was like with money out of sight. Like it was just, it ordered in a special part, used all this and it looked great, don't get me wrong, but could have also been done with 5 seconds of putting a hole through a pipe and was unnecessary. And I think what I just realized, like at that point, there is no point in me getting angry about this, because like I've created this system, and it felt like it was up to me to fix the system and not that job.
And that's such a profound takeaway to go. It's a problem arises. Is it a people problem or is it a system problem? And most often it's a system problem that we can then go and resurrect or overcome for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything's a system problem, to be honest. Like you have to push that angle first, because you bring in new people and, unless you give them the environment that like, this is how it works here, and you're clear about what you want, you can expect the same result.
How do you go about, speaking of bringing new people in, how do you go about getting someone up to speed as quick as possible?
Onboarding is like, we spend a decent amount of time teaching people when they join the company. So it might be like a month of working beside people, depending on the role. I guess like an apprentice might be a bit less, but if someone was coming into the business to learn how to quote, they're probably not quoting a thing for at least 6 or 8 weeks.
Yep.
So they're lots of time in the office. I think honestly, people like, it does their head in. It gets quite boring, and like, it's me talking at them for 6 weeks, and like, I can see how they get over it. But you've got to get it right. Like there's a very clear process, and I think it needs to be understood before we go and put them in front of people. So we invest a decent amount of time into that. But I guess on top of that, having the SOPs on the back end that then they can do in their own time, which is something that I'm refining at the moment.
What do those SOPs like operationalize it for us? What do they look like for a technician? Like what would he be seeing?
Everything. There's technical stuff. So there is how to do a test, I've got one on how we like to dig a particular hole. Sounds really crazy.
Drill it, please. Drill into it, because let's go
okay.
step by step.
Okay. So we're digging a hole to work out where a pipe is. I want that customer to think that is the best hole I've ever seen in my life, and I trust them to do the next stage of the job. So put the tarp down, like bloody drop sheets, tarp, buckets around, put concrete in one bucket, bricks in another, dirt in another, like keep that thing neat. And there's a video of me carrying out the process, where to stack the pavers, just dig a nice square hole. That's basically what it is.
This is the perfect example of how trade school teaches some things, but doesn't teach how a business wants things done specifically. And then if we're going to the level, and you're going to the level of explaining in detail every step of a very, very simple, would be considered simple task, that shows the level of standard that you hold for every other task in the business. And it's not necessarily about them, actually having to, although it is them having to dig the perfect hole, but it's more about like, we have expectations at every level of every task across every piece of the business. Yeah.
And like, that's growing. That's something that I've been working at that for probably, I don't know, a couple of years, like trying to finesse that. But yeah, like setting a clear expectation for someone, and I know when someone hasn't, read the SOP, because it's very obvious pretty quickly. But what's nice about that is it's that's on us to just, hey, here's the SOP, make sure you do it like this next time. And I think people actually really like the instruction and the clarity.
Yep. Because it's not just you suck at your job, do better. It's
exactly.
We have a process for this. I don't know if you know, but this is how it can be done next time.
Exactly. And it's not me, like, it's just, this is how it's not an argument. It's not me saying that you're bad. It's just that this, we face this problem together. Like, this is the way it needs to be done. And you just didn't know that. and that's okay. But this is how we'll do it moving forward.
Sandy, with all of the spreadsheets, the SOPs, the particular ways that we do things, the perfect good hands way, how do you manage your time? Or even for a better question, what does your job role look like?
So I've been off the tools for like most of this year. I've done a couple of jobs, but I'm fully off the tools now. We're a pretty small team. So yeah, my role is training. It's making sure that the guys know their numbers. And I do spend a decent amount of time with everyone to make sure that they're clear on what to do. It's often, I guess, as we've been growing, you kind of pulled one direction and pulled another. But having a good, like, we've got a great office manager now who's able to just fully take on day-to-day operations, which is just like freed me up so much to really focus on like what's next. And I guess where I have time that others might not is I'm not involved in day-to-day. So focusing on SOPs, like I do have a good amount of time every day to just like really dial in on something and spend a couple of hours on it with minimal disruption. And I'm not working massive hours.
If we can drill in that like blank space in your calendar, the vast majority of people that, like, you would have people reaching out to you, asking you questions about things, and the vast majority of people that we talk to as well, whether they're a part of Alpha Tradie or not, is filling up your day with busy work as opposed to holding that space to do real work or deep work. How do you address, like, let's say you come into work tomorrow, beautiful sunny Thursday morning, and you do have that 2-hour block. How do you know what to work on? What do you do? Do you make a coffee and stand in front of the whiteboard? How do you structure it?
Oh, yeah, okay. I've actually been using ChatGPT a fair bit for this. It's like my bloody therapist. It's terrible, but I this has only been the last month that I've been doing this, but I've got one conversation where I tell it what I'm doing, and I say this week my focus is Notion. This will, and I guess I use it to help me prioritize. I've got this project that I want to have done by Christmas, but I'm also working on XYZ, whatever. Can you just help me format a list, and then we can talk about what's important to me right now.
That's taken 10, 15 minutes to establish what is the right next thing to work on, as opposed to just jumping in, checking emails, and just being totally reactive all day.
Yeah, that's 100% right. I try not to, spend too long. It's very easy to get caught up, checking your inbox, buddy, every 15 minutes. But doing that, and I guess just having like a few clear projects. I'm definitely guilty of taking on way too many things at once, and I think I've learned that over the last few months to just like slow it down a little bit, because I think it does tend to drive people a bit mad.
And it's that internal pressure that we put on ourselves to get everything done, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. And I think you start to look at next year and 5 years, and you get so pumped on it, and we need this, and I think everyone who actually has to be the people to deliver that. Mate.
Exactly. There's a term that gets thrown around called operational whiplash, where the founder learns something new. Okay. You read a book over the weekend, or you listen to a podcast, and you have this wang fang idea, and it is for everybody sitting in the company. Operational whiplash. Like, I learned something new, and we're changing it. We're doing it right now. Slow down. Think about it. Especially in a confined area. Mate, since actually welcoming a new baby into the household, how does that affect your role in the company? How do you manage your time there?
I guess I'm definitely working less hours and less weekends and that. Like, I was kind of working quite a lot in the lead up to that. And I guess I had that in mind that, at that point, I'm not going to be available as much. I think I'm probably a bit more intentional with my time when I'm at work. Having, I guess, a few clear projects. And this is actually, to your credit, where forecasting has been a really good tool. In that, like, I know where I'm going, I know what I need to work on, and they're going to be my highest leverage tasks for the next month or so.
Can you unpack it for the guys that have never seen a forecast for us?
Oh, yeah. Spreadsheet, it's basically we're looking at 12 months to 3 years ahead and forecasting not only, I guess, desired revenue, but how you're going to get there. Which again is like one of those things that I've spent a good amount of time on. Like I've probably taken that spreadsheet and done a whole bunch of crazy things and made it mine. But
as a natural freak in the sheets, I would expect
anticipating. Yeah. I think by knowing realistically what you want to achieve out of the next, 3, 6, 9 months, even 1 month, you can reverse engineer what activities you're going to work on and what's important for now. So as long as you're keeping track of that, then you don't, like, realistically, who's effective for 70 hours a week? Unless you're like literally laying bricks or doing something that's just like not requiring a huge amount of thought. Like I just don't see much advantage to working 13, 15 hours a day. Like the output would be pathetic by, by the end of that. So there's just not much point,
And channeling in as well so that they are the most effective hours possible and knowing when to call it, knowing when you've started, like at the end of the day, when you do have 8 tabs open and you're cycling between, zero to bank account to forecast to data trackers, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I got to call it a day.
I know. And like we all do it, but I think it's just like just coming back to something and having a bit of a North Star to, to make sure you're on track.
What's your take on this work-life balance movement? I love to pose this question a lot. Where do you think it stands? What's your take on work-life balance?
I like what I do. So it's not uncommon for me. Like, honestly, if I have a spare day, probably the first thing I'll do is I'll go to the library and I'll study all day. And then and I'll look at different ideas, different things I can, maybe learn a new concept. Just things that might not ever eventuate to anything, but like I really like learning. And I think that by figuring that out, I've been able to just bring that to work.
What's one of the things you are learning at the moment? Let's drill into one of them.
What am I learning at the moment? I mean, Notion has been like something that I've been really focusing on. I love it. It's amazing software. It's hard to figure it out. Like at the start when I first looked at it, I like my brain was going to explode. I was like, I just can't figure out how everything talks. But I have spent a lot of time in Notion over the last 2 months, and I've pulled it across. Like our old SOPs were hosted elsewhere, and I've pulled them into Notion, and like it's just so cool. And it's one of those things where you spend so long doing it, researching, and you're like, what am I doing? But then it clicks, and then like I find that really satisfying.
How does that affect the business? So the Notions are like a knowledge hub, really. It's beautiful notes brought in with some data tracking and some integrations. How does it affect Good Hands?
Like now we've kind of just got it to a point where ideally we won't have to remember very much. Like we've got vehicles have registration service reminders. They've got first aid kits tagged to them with have expiry, so we remember to do that. They've got fire, just you name it, everything's just linked together. We only finished that like last week, but I guess what that creates is like an efficiency in the business that rather than waiting for some bloody letter in the post that you got to find because you forgot to renew your rego, or waiting for a tool to break on site because you didn't get it serviced, or whatever the thing is, having Notion alert you it's very easy to maintain. It's just hard to set up. But what that allows is then us in the office to not be dragged away into silly things that don't that are low value, time input kind of thing.
Because those are some of the things that, like, 2:30 in the morning, your brain goes ping. Oh man, what about fire extinguisher expiry dates and just random shit like that?
Yeah.
Where you go, that's handled. 100%. That's sorted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are you most
and
excited?
I think what I call it, like, it's a really good backbone. Pardon me?
What you carry on, please, because you were going on to something there.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, it's a good backbone for the business, to know that when people come to you with all sorts of advice and, suggestions for the business and compliance, and you get new things over time, and having, I guess, a good backbone like that in Notion just allows you to make sure that everything new that happens in the business is maintained. Because it's very easy, like we've had safety people come out and say, yeah, you need to put a sign up here and you need to get the roller door done every year. And you're like, oh, yeah, cool, we'll do that. And then you do it once and you forget. Then you got to get that person back out in 18 months' time when you forgot to do it. And it's just like, it's too much. And I think investing in something like that is just like, it just relaxes your brain because you don't have to, it's no longer my worry.
And then that's where that couple hours every couple of days or couple hours every day gets opened up for you to actually be able to really build the business forward.
Yeah.
Speaking of
100%.
building the business,
same for our staff as well.
100% with the SOPs, with all the information they have access to. Mate, what are you most excited for in Good Hands? What's next up?
I mean, I want to grow into different services. I see a lot of potential in stuff outside of plumbing, but I think this is one of those things where I'm trying to maintain discipline in what we're doing now. So, like, primarily I want to grow the team a bit more, but long term it's multiple services, because I really think that our strength as a business isn't, we're good at plumbing, but I don't think the customers would know the difference between our plumbing and another plumbing company's plumbing, because they're not plumbers. And a lot of what we do is hidden. It's under houses, it's in walls, it's under the ground. You only know it's good through a lack of it not being bad.
Yes. Because it's not seen.
And so I think, yeah. It's good when it's not a problem. But yeah, what's next for us is I just think that our strength as a business is that we're good at building relationships with homeowners, and we're good at sort of partnering with them to make sure that they're clear on what's going on in their home. And I really just want to drill more into that. And
that like, it's probably tip of the tongue components is like electrical, solar, air, all of the other add-ons that you can fit into what used to be considered, and probably putting words into your mouth here, but what you may have previously considered as a plumbing company is now most likely a lead generation and customer service company.
Yeah, like in our game, that's kind of what you have to be.
Yep. Mate, if you could sum up the last 12 months of the business in a single sentence, what would it be?
It's been like absolutely relentless, but in a good way. and I've had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Mate, it sounds like a Navy ship, not a pirate ship.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
Sandy,
it's been really
mate,
full on, but like I've worked so hard, and it's like I think the culture's good. Everyone's having fun. It's it's a good time at the moment.
mate, that's fantastic. I really appreciate you jumping on and sharing some of the insights, not only to the brand, but also what your job is and how you hold some safe space to get real deep work done as well. Mate, where can people find you?
Our website, goodhandsplumbing.com.au. Find us on Insta. I think it's goodhands_plumbing. There.
Excellent.
Google
Mate,
us.
I appreciate you very much. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye for now.